Yes, could it be the best 15-inch premium laptop? Well, let's find out! Woo! Tally ho there, champs. Now, this is Razer's take on the premium 15-inch gaming laptop. So you want to upgrade that Windows Home to Windows Pro? Or just get killer prices on Windows Office 2016 and cheap gaming keys? Head on down to 0 make sure you copy and paste my code from the description to get a price that's going to make you go woo! Premium Thin Light. It's probably one of the best designed 15-inch laptops, without a doubt, or one of the best from my eye, out of any laptop. I really do dig its design. I'm not a black fan, I don't like black laptops, but I appreciate the finish on this. And what I like about it is its squareness, how square it is. It reminds me of, say, the Surface products. It just has that nice flat square look, and I do like it better than, say, the MacBook Pro, which sort of has like a rounded sort of corners and stuff like that. This is personal preference, but I do like that design. And it's like top drawer building quality, I'll tell you now. Now, being such a premium thin and light laptop, yeah, you're gonna pay some money for this, especially for the specs. And this one comes in at around 3,800 Australian, around 2,600 US, around the same amount of pounds. Now, usually I'd say that is expensive, but I've just been reviewing the MacBook Pro, like $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 laptops. This is a bargain. It's a bargain if you compare it to the MacBook Pro, but in the real world, no, it is still expensive. But for the specs you get, it's par of the course. That's what you're going to pay for these sort of specs. This model here is the 8th generation 8750H processor, so that's 6 cores, 16 gigabytes RAM, dual channel. You can get up to 32 gigs, 512 gigabyte SSD, M.2 SSD. It only has one M.2 slot, so you can only put one SSD in it. You can get GTX 1060 Max-Q or a GTX 1070 Max-Q. This one has the GTX 1070, 144Hz 15-inch display, 4K option, and there's also a 60Hz Full HD option. All of them come with an 80 watt hour battery. So for me, the design looks really nice, but whether the Razer logo floats your boat, and I have said before, people that buy MacBook Pros, I don't think they'll be buying this. It's just sort of not the aesthetic that they're used to or after. They'll probably go more towards the XPS 15, I would say. Well, let me know down there in the comments. So instead of comparing this to the XPS 15, ZenBook Pro and the MacBook Pro, I would more likely compare this to the ROG Zephyrus, the MSI GS65 and the Aero 15X. Now, all of them can be used for either or, except maybe the Mac isn't the best thing for gaming, but all of those laptops you can game on them and you can content create on them. But this is more of a gaming laptop, and it really is phenomenal that this laptop is so thin. It's 17.3 millimeters, the smallest 15-inch gaming laptop. 4.63 pounds, 2.1 kilos. So it is a little bit heavier, but that's because it has all that premium heatsink in it. It has the vapor chamber and all premium materials to try and keep something so thin cool. Now, when it comes to ports, you get 3 Type A USBs, 3.1s, HDMI 2.0 mini display port 1.4, Thunderbolt 3 4 times lanes, and that's it. There's no SD card slot and there's no Ethernet. So a gamer would probably want the Ethernet. Of course, you can use the adapter, but a content creator would like the SD card slot. Listening to the sound, it has 2 top-facing speakers. The sound is good, but it just lacks that meaty oomph. I've just been listening to the MacBook Pro speakers, and compared to the MacBook Pro, they're not in the same league. But one thing I will tell you is when you game, it really gave me a good sense of where the enemy was. The surround actually worked. Usually surround sucks, but this one actually worked really well. The keyboard is one of the better keyboards in this 15-inch segment. It has a nice amount of travel. It feels nice amount of feedback. It has that killer RGB, the best RGB on laptops for sure. Controlled by Razer's software. You can control the RGB on that, of course. Set up the lighting for the keys, etc. What more can you say than it's one of the better keyboards in this segment? Whether RGB is your thing or not, well, you can turn it off if you really want to. And when it comes to the trackpad too, this is right up there as one of the best trackpads for Windows. It's nearly as good as the Surface Book 2's trackpad, and I would say slightly better than the XPS 15's trackpad, just because the click felt a little bit better and felt smoother too. So keyboard trackpad, really good. And it's much better than the Aero 15's trackpad, like a lot better. But comparing it to the MacBook Pro, no, it's still not in that league. It's still an 8 out of 10 compared to a 10 out of 10. The display is friggin' awesome. 144Hz, Full HD, matte panel, calibrated out of factory. I measured around 90% sRGB and just over 300 nits of brightness. Games look fantastic, super buttery smooth. You also have a 60Hz cheaper version and the option of 100% Adobe RGB 4K display. Now, if you're a content creator, you might want the 4K display, you want that color gamut, but if you're a gamer, definitely get the 144Hz. Butter smooth, great viewing angles, content looks awesome on it. You're really gonna love the display. And for gaming laptops, the battery life is actually really good. I got over 6 hours with the YouTube rundown test I do, so that's using Wi-Fi as well, which is really good for a gaming laptop. I would say general usage, you're going to get around the same, 6-7 hours battery life. That is with the power management set to balanced and the display at 60Hz. So it's not class leading, like not as good as the XPS 15, even with the 4K monitor, not as good as the MacBook Pro, if you want to put them in the same class, but more or less around the same what the Aero gets. So good battery life nonetheless. When it comes to performance, you do use that Razer software again, the Synopsys software, and you can put it in gaming mode, you can control the fan. It'll just let the horses run free there and give it the maximum performance. I was able to reach 3.9 GHz all-core burst, which is its maximum, for a small amount of time. Generally, if you're rendering in Premiere Pro, you get around 3.2 GHz as an average. It will spike up and down, and gaming, you can get up to 3.9 GHz as well, sometimes even 4 GHz. When you game, I would call this 100 frames per second, high settings, most games. I have a gaming review, check that out. This will give you more detail. And when I had hardware encoding enabled in Premiere Pro, it was one of the fastest rendering laptops out of all the laptops I've tested. So you get great performance there. There will be some thermal management when you game, but it never throttles below base clock, CPU or GPU, and there's no wild fluctuations going up and down. It's very consistent. So it's a great gaming device, great for content creation as well. That's thanks for the power this houses, and it's really amazing how much power this houses in such a thin package. It is like 100 grams heavier than say the XPS 15, and so you can sort of feel that weight, but that would mostly be because of that heat sink in there. And for upgrade, you can upgrade the RAM to 32 gigs, 2 slots there, and you can upgrade the M.2 SSD, and that's about it. The battery looks easy replaceable too. So in conclusion, this is a killer 15-inch premium laptop. I really love the design, the build quality, the performance is great. Easily Razer's best laptop. I will actually compare this with the MacBook Pro, Aero 15 and the XPS 15. Make sure you subscribe and give me a like if you want to see that video. And in that video, I'll tell you which one I think is the best for which purpose. So anyway, I would like to really thank you guys for watching. Until next time guys, tally ho. Woo!